What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Physics. I'm back with another. What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Physics. I'm back with another episode of the Lab Report. Before we start, I have something I need to address. Okay, so I get this question a lot, and the question is, why are you so behind? Like, you're putting out episodes from weeks of June and July. So we're gonna address that right now. So for me, I've never been a fan of like first listen reviews, especially for albums. I think, an artist that puts together something as big as an album should be like, you should take more time to really indulge in it and to really understand, the concept behind the music and why they made it and stuff like that. So I tend to do a lot of research on the artist. I tend to listen to the albums more than once before I go ahead and give it a review. And it's a lot of music to listen to because I'm listening to a lot of new artists. The rap is a very saturated space right now. So I'm really trying to give everybody a chance and making sure that I listen to something multiple times, because who knows, I could be in a bad mood one day, I listen to something, and then the next day, I listen to it again and I actually enjoy it and find something I liked about it. So that's the reason we're sort of behind. I might start dropping double episodes of these in the near future so that we can sort of catch up a little bit, I guess, so we can sort of focus on the more modern projects and whatnot. But just know that if the episodes are a little behind, it's because I'm taking time with the music, and I really want to make sure I'm giving the best reviews possible. So for those that are new, the Lab Report is essentially a show where we take the latest drops in rap music, and we talk about them in three categories. We talk about them in the duds of the week, the singles of the week, and the albums of the week. So as usual, let's get right into it. So we're going to start with our duds of the week. Coming in at number 3 for this week, we have Pain is Temporary by Bankroll Hayden. So this is my introduction to the Canadian kid. I never really had heard of him before. A couple weeks ago, I reviewed his single, which I actually really liked, called Rich Bitch. And I really thought it was a nice, upbeat, pop rap song. But overall, with this album, he psyched me out. I thought the first 2 songs, the first being about, a divorce with his parents, I could really identify with that. And rappers really don't really touch on that subject a lot. So I was like, okay, this is something that's dope, something new. I'm actually really enjoying this. And then he proceeded to come out with the song Drop a Tear with Lil Baby on the next track. And I was like, okay, this kid might have, he might have the it factor. And after that, it just became a really generic, really samey album. And it sort of really fell off. There were solid features all the way through. I would say most of the features on here carried him, which is not something that you want to happen on a debut album. I think if he sticks with that Drop a Tear sound, I think he'll be in his bag. I think that's definitely his sweet spot. That sort of melodic, somber rap music that people like Ian Dior are really rocking with right now. So I definitely think if he sticks with that, he could be really big. And I definitely think he has potential to do something special. He just really needs to lock it in and put together a solid, cohesive album. At number 2, a rapper that I've never been fond of, but even for him, this was fucking terrible. Coming in at number 2, we have Everything Strange Here by G-Eazy. Y'all. So like I said, I'm not going to sit here and act like I've ever been a G-Eazy fan. I think all of his music is pretty corny. He has some decent songs here and there, but for the most part, I cannot rock with his music. But what is this? Who in his crew told him that this was the sound he needs to be going for? This is, I guess punk rock music has never really been my cup of tea anyway, but I definitely think this is a very, very poor attempt at, going with that punk aesthetic in your music. I won't even call it rap music. He literally did a complete 180 and tried to go for something new, and it did not work at all. I never thought that G-Eazy can make worse music than his rap music, but I think punk rock G-Eazy is 100 times worse than rap G-Eazy, and that's saying something, especially coming from me. Coming in at number 1, we have Punch Him by TJX6. Hell nah, dog. Who let him release this? Who? Just based off this one song alone, he might be one of the worst rappers bar for bar that I've ever heard in my entire life. This song also has what might be one of the weakest hooks I've ever heard in my entire life. The hook is literally, punching all day, been hurting my knuckle. Punching all day, been hurting my knuckle. Punching all day, been hurting my knuckle. On repeat. That's literally the chorus. This song was a joke, and I genuinely cannot believe that I wasted 2.5 minutes of my life listening to this song. Moving on to the positives, the singles of the week. We only have 2 this week, actually. We only have 2. It wasn't really a super competitive week. There was a lot of singles that dropped, but not a lot that really had me wowed or it made me go back to want to listen to it more. So coming in at number 2, we have the What's Poppin' remix by Jack Harlow featuring Tory Lanez, DaBaby, and Lil Wayne. So I want to start by saying shout out to Jack Harlow for actually making a real remix. I think the art of remixes has sort of died within recent years in rap music. And what I mean by that is, an actual remix being a whole new verse from that artist instead of, recycling the same verse from before and then just adding whoever you want as a guest feature. Jack's verse was dope, probably even better than his original verse on the song. I thought it was very well put together. I've seen a lot of debate on who had the best verse in terms of the guest verses. So this is the official list right here. I am the tell-all. This is the official list of the verses from best to worst. So the best is Tory Lanez. I think Tory Lanez absolutely killed this track. The way he flowed on it was incredible. DaBaby's next. I would take Jack Harlow at number 3, and last, I hate to do this, but Lil Wayne definitely had the weakest verse out of all of them. I just think his verse, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't up to par with the rest of the crew. So I can't blame Jack Harlow for dropping his remix. I thought it was super solid. It almost felt like an original song almost that was completely different from the original version of it. And I think the features he got on him were very good publicity for him, and it really showed how big he is becoming in the rap game. Overall, dope song, dope verses. You can't complain. This is definitely one of the better singles of this year. Coming in at number 1, we have Girls in the Hood by Megan Thee Stallion. I thought this was a masterclass remix of Boys in the Hood by NWA. At this point, it seems like Megan Thee Stallion, like the way she flows, her voice, her charisma, like she can make anything appealing no matter what kind of production she's on. Like it genuinely sounds appealing and it makes you want to listen. If you don't like Megan Thee Stallion at this point, I'm questioning you, because like I said before, just her charisma and the way she carries herself, it shows through within her music. Just by the way she sounds. So if you don't like Megan Thee Stallion, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. She's definitely getting better as a rapper, which is scary because I always thought she could rap, as it is now. But she's definitely improving with her wordplay and the way she flows on different production. I want to say that she's one album away from superstardom, but at this point, I think she might already have that superstar title. Last but not least, the moment we've all been waiting for. We're going to move to the albums of the week for this week. Coming in at number 2, we have Dundada by Young and A. First, I want to start off by saying I don't know who does this man's production, but they are the real MVP of his music. Not saying that he can't rap and that his storytelling isn't really good, but the production he gets on is so soulful and so different than other trap artists that are out right now, that I think it really is the appeal of his music. Oftentimes the beats on his projects or in songs have keys in the background that enhance like how soulful the track is. And I think that really sets itself apart from other trap production, as we talked about earlier. I think it was a solid album all the way through. If I had to give it one critique, I think at some point his sound does begin to sound a little samey. I feel like it's always really somber and dark production and rapping. But I definitely think he does that to his strength. But at the same time, at some point, a whole feature-length project of it can get samey and it can get a little boring to where you're just going through the motions when you listen to it. But I think he does this sound very, very well. And I would like to see a little more versatility in the future. But as a project in itself, I thought this album was solid all the way through. Coming in at number 1, we have 6 Piece Hot by Black. He don't miss. So I don't think this project was his strongest outing, but I can tell that he, this is just something to get out. I think he just came out with his own like hot sauce thing or something that goes along with this. I definitely think that he put his effort. I don't think he drops anything without putting effort into it, but I definitely don't think he put the most effort into this project like he has, East Atlanta Love Letter and Free Black, his debut album. But the thing about him not putting effort into it is that Black's Worst is still amazing compared to his peers, and it's still amazing music, period, in its own right. His voice, his melodies, the way he can switch it up and rap on a track like he did with Lil Baby on Know My Rights is incredible. I think his versatility really shines through in everything that he does. And I think, within his next project or maybe next 1 or 2 projects, I think we're really going to start to realize that Black is one of the better artists of our generation. So that's going to be it for this episode. I appreciate everybody that watched. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if I put you on to something in the comments. Let me know if you disagree, agree, that I missed anything that you thought was fire or bad from this week. Put that in the comments as well. And as usual, we'll be back in the lab next week.